This trade is working, but I don't know. Is this really going to give me 3 to 1? Looks like I'm going to lose here. I'm liking this wick, but I don't know what should I do here. I might just hold this trade until stop loss. I'm going to get stopped out here. Damn. Hey guys, it's Will. Welcome to the channel. I'm a part-time day trader trying to become a full-time. We currently are in the second last week of September. I actually thought this was the last week, but there's actually one more trading day tomorrow. I mean Monday. Today is Thursday, and we do have one more trading day tomorrow. So it's still, it's still early in the week. Not really early in the week, but it's still one more trading day in the week. So we don't know until we know. And then we have Monday. So the month is not done yet. We never know. I took 2 trades this week, but unfortunately I am down and it sucks. But what can I do? I'm just trading and following my process, and I just lost in the week. I took a trade on Tuesday, and then today's Thursday, which I took a trade. And the first trade on Tuesday, I did break even, and then today I did lose the trade, and I am going to break down the trades. But first, I'll show you guys the charts on Monday and just go through the days. Here's Monday on a 30-minute chart, and we basically are breaking above all-time highs because this area right here is all-time highs. And what I'm looking for is a break and retest over the previous day's highs, which is also the all-time highs. So we did actually get the break and retest, but when I do go to the 2-minute time frame, I see that it does give you that break and retest. But while it was breaking, this retest is not something that I never like taking. And anyways, it didn't really matter because that was when the ES was still under the previous highs, which was all-time highs as well. And it was hard for me to trust it, so I did not take the trade. And you can see here, my level was the 67.32, and the ES did break under it, and it still did a pullback. Maybe my level was wrong, but I still didn't like the charts. It wasn't aligning with my levels, so I did not take the trade. Then coming to the next day, which is Tuesday, I did take a trade here, and what I have again is the all-time highs, which was this level right here on the Nasdaq and right here on the ES. We have a pre-market low area right here that's basically holding out throughout the whole pre-market level, and also the ES too. So that was my pre-market low level, and if I did see a break and retest over that level, like under that level, then I'll take the trade. It's because this area right here is a straight up move, and that if it does fail the shelf level right here that's holding the market, then I believe that I can get some continuation to the downside, and that's what happened. And when I go to the 2-minute time frame, I got a nice break, and then it was retesting the level, such a nice bear flag into the level, and then the charts look so good that I thought I was gonna win the trade. But obviously I can't just think I'm gonna win the trade no matter how the charts look like. The continuation was lackluster. It just kept playing around with you or with me all day, and the ES was still in a range right here. It was still in my range, and it didn't actually break the pre-market low, but I did take it from the Nasdaq. And while the Nasdaq wasn't giving me that continuation, I saw that the ES had some volume that was coming down, and the Nasdaq didn't really do anything still. So I just think that the best thing for me to do was just exit the trade, because I felt that the ES could just bring the market up and I'll lose the trade, because when there was this big candle over here, the Nasdaq didn't really do anything, and that I was like, maybe I should just break even here, and if I get a better confirmation, then I might enter the trade again. I did re-enter the trade around here, and I put my stop loss around this area right here because I didn't want it to get above that level. I was supposed to get in that trade, and I actually got the ES by accident. I sold out because I got the ES. I realized that the market was waking back up, and I didn't want to get in the trade again. And if I actually stayed in the trade, I would have lost the trade, probably because I didn't give it the proper stop loss right here. So thank God I just got the ES, and I broke even again. So I only won like $4 that day. If I just had proper levels, this should have been a bit higher, and that if I just stuck to my game plan and didn't get scared, I could have won in this trade. But all I had to do was just stay in this trade for until like a couple hours, and then I would have won the trade. But I didn't, and that kind of sucks. I was thinking of re-entering the trade once I saw this big count over here. I was like, maybe this could be the downside, but I didn't want to get messed up again, because I took 2 trades and it was break even, and it was just like a lot of chop, so I didn't want to deal with it. But if I did get in that trade, I could have won in the trade, but I don't know. I had to work that day anyways, so I couldn't stay all day in the charts. But I think I might just get in the trade and then just hold it. If it hits my stop loss, I lose. If it hits my profit, then I win the trade. That's what I'm thinking now, if I have to go to work or something. At least for this month, the trades are taking so long. Like, it's taking until like 2-3 hours for it to develop. And it's a bit annoying because my trades are usually faster than this. But what can I do? That's just the volume of this month, and I can't change anything about that. All right, here's the trade, and I did actually start recording before I got into the trade because I knew a setup would happen. It's not like I knew the setup was gonna happen, it's that I'm very confident in my setup and I know what I want to see. So I'm thinking that there could be a setup here. So that's why I filmed it early. I'm still waiting for it to develop. And at this time, it was literally just before 10 o'clock and there was news at 9:50 and 10 o'clock. So I was just waiting to make sure that the news happened. And then if there's no volume, then I'll get into the trade. My stop loss is just about 27 points, which is a fine stop loss for me. There was data at 9:45 and there was also data at 9:50. So I was waiting for 9:50 because it was Trump speaking, and I'm just making sure that there was no insane volume. 9:50 happens, I see nothing, and I put my entry around this area right here so that if it did break down that level, I'll be liking the trade. And then I started seeing it break down and I'm getting interested in taking the trade. And then I took the trade right here. It was a nice bear flag into the trade. And once I got into the trade right here, I was thinking that this would be a good trade because it's a very nice bear flag. Once I see proper bear flags like this, I'm pretty confident in the trade. And fast forward more, it does wake up a bit more. And then I'm like, okay, I'm getting scared. Like every time when it gets really close to my stop loss, like right here, I'm like, maybe I'm going to lose this trade. But as long as my stop loss is above my level that I wanted to stay under, then I'll be okay. And then the next candle gave me that bear flag that I really wanted. And then I was looking really good. And it was also rejecting the previous day's highs on the ES. So this trade is looking very good. But the problem was that it wasn't working as good as I wanted to. Like this candle is nice, but it's not breaking down as much as I wanted to. Even though the candles, the patterns are looking so A+, but it's not breaking down as I wanted to. So then that's why I keep zooming out, because I don't know if it's gonna work out, because there's like some highs in the market or so. And then I'm still waiting, getting that breakdown still, but it's just very slow. All right, it's about this point where I see the big volume on ES, and it's a very good volume on ES, but then I'm looking at the NASDAQ and there's no continuation. There's no volume. There's no like downside that I believe that can happen. So after this point, I think I might just put my stop loss to break even if I'm not liking the trading more, because I would expect the NASDAQ to be a bit more downside if the ES has that big candle right there. And that's why I was thinking that I should just exit the trade right here. And then, yeah, I just exited the trade. I was gonna move my stop loss, but I just exited the trade manually. And yeah, that's fine. Going to Wednesday, what I charted was my previous day's lows, and that was the red dashed lines right here on both markets. But the ES was a bit not as clear because it didn't really align properly with this level right here. So I didn't want to take the ES if there was downside. But if there was upside, I would take a break and retest over the all-time highs, and also the same goes to the ES. So I had this level, previous day's lows, and if I saw a break and retest, I'll take it. When I go to the 2-minute time frame, nothing really happened the first 2 hours. The market was just sideways, and I had to go to work that time, and the trade actually happened during 11:30. It did a break and retest right there, and that was literally the trade that I wanted, but it happened later day. I couldn't be in my charts, and that got me annoyed because it worked. The setup, my strategy worked, but I was just not on my charts, so I can't even do anything about it. It's still annoying to this day because I could have been up this week, and I don't know what to say, man. It's just like this month is like the setups are happening when I'm not available, or they're just happening and I'm not executing it properly, or I'm just not holding my runners longer, or I just sell out early. All those types of things that's just been happening this month. Coming into Thursday, which is today, I did take a trade and lost. I go to the bigger time frames to show you guys what I had in my charts. My bias is the shorts because we are weak and we had the previous low right here on both markets. And I also charted out my pre-market low right here. That was the exact low on the pre-market low. So I was waiting for a break and retest short. But when I go to the 2-minute time frame, this is what I see. I see that the market was breaking down early morning. I was going to take the NASDAQ, but it just broke down too quickly that I just didn't like the trade, or I didn't like the retest. And I was still waiting for the ES, because when this candle was happening on the NASDAQ, ES was still above this zone right here. So I was trying to make sure it actually broke above or broke below, and they gave me a retest. It didn't give me a proper retest. I like how the NASDAQ was breaking down aggressively, and then I got the trade. It was working, but I did not get the continuation as I wanted. I lost because I did not respect the demand zone that I had on the market. If I do go to the 30-minute time frame on the NASDAQ, and I go zoom out further to like the 1 hour, I had this zone on the NASDAQ right here that I did remove from my charts. So you can't really see it on the 1 hour, but if I go to the 4 hour right here, it had this big wick right here, and this was my demand zone that I had, and it literally just aligns right there. And I did take that off my charts. Probably dumb of me, because this is in a 4-hour time frame that I probably should have kept it in my charts. If I did actually just sell out here, it wouldn't give me my proper risk reward. I did take it out, but it's not because I wasn't gonna get my proper risk reward. It's because I was looking at the ES as well, and then I didn't really see a clear level on the ES, because the 4-hour had this wick, but it didn't really align properly with like the 1-hour and stuff. So that's why I did take the ES. I like the ES more, and the ES had a better confirmation, so that's why I just took the ES. If I had this demand zone on the Nasdaq, I probably should have respected it, and I could have just sold out there, like knowing that it's like getting bought back up there. So once I saw that volume or that wick, I was thinking that it could be a double bottom low, so I could have just done better, be more protective, or just like sell out there or do something better than just fully get stopped out. When I look at the live trade, I see that the Nasdaq is just breaking down, and this was the retest, I guess, but it was just too aggressive, so I did not take it. And I had to make sure that ES was breaking down first. And then once I saw this right here, it's still breaking down, I just had to give it the risk. It was a big stop loss, but it was a bit more risk than I'm normally taking, so I'm not gonna get 2 contracts because it doesn't make sense. And then it just started working nicely. I guess this wasn't the proper retest that I should look for, and that's why I probably lost. But I don't think it's the retest, because I like the downside, I like the volume, so it's fine that I did get in the trade. But it's because I did not respect the demand zone on the Nasdaq. That's why I kept zooming out to see if this was actually gonna hold right there. So I knew that there was gonna be a pullback, and I just kept being patient. I was thinking of getting out right here, but I was like, I'm just gonna trust the process. I don't want to keep just selling out and just like not following my plan. So I just stayed in. I saw a nice wick after. So what I could have done was actually just put my stop loss at the wick instead, and then I would have a smaller stop loss. While it was working out more, I probably could have moved my stop loss to break even at this point, or just put it at the wick, because I knew that this could actually maybe hold once I saw this wick right here. Or maybe I could have just sold right there, lock into profits, and a 40-point move will still be like about like $80. So going to my P&L, I did lose $52 on that, $52.50. I did lose $250 on the ES, like by buying it by accident. I won $7. If I pull up the calculator real quick, $52.50, and then I add the $250, then minus the $7, I am down $48 for this week. Nothing crazy. I can literally just make it back in one trade, but I don't know. We'll see how it is. We do still have one more trading day tomorrow. And also thinking about my trade, my stop loss was around 950, or like my stop point was 950. So my 3-to-1 will be about a 29-point move. So that's a big range for the ES. But all I know is that I should have respected the Nasdaq zone right here, and I should have played more protective, have a better. I could have protected my capital a bit more, but it is what it is. I have a comfortable loss. I just gotta move on and just like look for better trades, and that's what I'm gonna do. Like I said, we do have one more trading day tomorrow, so hopefully I do win a trade. If not, then this is the week. Can't do anything about it. I'm down $40. And what I like to say is, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Keep staying disciplined, keep staying consistent, and let's just get 1% better every day. And I'll see you in the next one.